mine. Oh, thank you very much, Jose Ramirez. Here I come. He was on my show a couple weeks ago. Man, this is a jamming CD. I saw it was on Sirius Radio for my friend too. Good stuff, hey, bro.
I like that a lot. I heard that for the first time there. Yeah, it sounded great.
Yeah, that's the title track. And, you know, that's the other fun thing for me, too, to talk to the artist and the journey. We're going to talk about your journey in DJing again. And it's just fun to be part of that journey. I get the CD in the mail. I get the CDs from Blind Raccoon, from Betsy Brown, and then I contact the artist, talk to them before it's released, and now it's released. He's on Billboard, on Blue, you know, the big time radio, and it's just part of the fun of that. Hey, my friend?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Like yourself, I get sent loads and loads of music, and it's a real struggle to keep up with it, but it's an absolute privilege. Even when I get sent something that perhaps isn't to my taste, I really appreciate it. Someone's gone out there, and it's an honor to be asked whether I would like to play that or hear it, in my opinion.
I wish I had 20 of me or 20 lifetimes to be able to present everybody's music properly that they send to me. Sometimes I'm so busy I get it, and then I realize I had to get, well, like yourself. You sent me a message a couple weeks ago. I meant to get back to you, but it was like, life is happening. Like, hey, Miles, I didn't forget you, bro. I'd love to chat on the show, and you know, and then we connected in the last, you know, a couple days. But yeah, in music, I think everybody's great. That's just me. I mean, I watch The Voice, American Idol. Anybody playing anywhere. It's kind of like anything anybody does is awesome. That's how I believe.
Yeah, that's a good starting point because you know, I won't like everything. There's a big percentage of things I don't like at all, but someone will, and if that does something special for someone's, you know, soul, then it's worth doing. If that does something for the artist's soul doing it, it's worth doing. You know, it takes some guts to get up on stage and perform. So, just as a starting point, I respect that.
It's everything, right? Just to do it. I mean, you know, even yourself to get together on a show, to DJ, to start that years ago when you were young. You know, we take a hit doing this stuff and want to listen or not. I do this for myself. I was telling you, my show when this started, I load up the playlist and I roll. Now that I'm on 24/7, which is a dream for me, I have an auto playlist when I'm not here, and I can be in my car for 3 days. I don't check in, but I know it's jamming. And isn't that fun to be able to do that for the people?
Yeah, that's awesome. It is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, my internet station's got, 3,000 tracks on it, and it just rolls like a jukebox 24/7. It's fantastic. I love it. And I can listen to it all over the world. I don't have to take any music or iPads or anything. Just, you know.
Yeah, and then I feel guilty. I'll see my friend will post this, oh my gosh, I haven't played their songs in a while. So that's kind of what I was trying to say. I want to have, you know, my ultimate would have everybody do this. I've so many artists when I first started doing this. If you could have your own identity, your own station all the time, and then they can perform it in quality too, because I do take my show mobile. This thing I can do anywhere. All I need is a signal, and I can rock it anywhere. And I run a DSP quality processor when they're playing it live, too.
Wow, fabulous stuff.
And, that's kind of my journey, and you get excited about talking on your journey. Now, let's continue. Now, you were broadcasting, you said off a boat, because I love that concept of, you know, independent college radio community, and continue on with your great journey, my friend.
Well, I did a few months on The Voice of Peace, as I mentioned, just off the coast of Tel Aviv, and left there eventually, came back home, and you know how you just bumble through life, left radio for a bit, did little bits, did community radio in Darlington, a little bit of helping out at BBC Manchester, so here and there I did a year training course in Coventry, so little bits of radio here and along, but on the whole, just getting on with life as you do being a music fan. And, you know, in the olden days, when you go to school, you hear about all these amazing people who discovered the North Pole or here or there. You know, you grow up hearing about these people, and it's all been done, hasn't it? When you're looking at your adult life, what you're going to do, you can't be an explorer because it's all been found.
Yeah.
But if you're a music fan, you could be a musical explorer. And that's been the story for me. There's no end of musical journeys and avenues and places to explore, and there never will be an end to it. It's like being in space, in a way. So I just follow my nose, I guess, and just go everywhere with it.
Yeah, you're so right, because I always feel blessed growing up when I did, because the art of the music with the LP, there's so much besides just the song that you learn that goes into this. The producer side, the fans, I mean, everybody. And then when you hear back how these songs were created, it is the journey of life.
Yeah. There's no end of different ways to look into it. And as you say, the background, the history of all the songs, all the different styles of music and all the different countries of the world. And they're all evolving every single day. It's just incredible. There's no end of variety and different things arising. It's absolutely fabulous. I would briefly tell you as an example of my musical exploration. My favourite band, a band called Dat Bluggy, which probably not many people have heard of. They're a Welsh language band. But here's the crazy thing. I don't speak Welsh. But they're my favourite band. They're a great band. So it's odd, the avenues it takes you down.
Oh, the Welsh and the Irish. And a friend of mine, I went and saw his show. Now, those are just amazing live performances. When they're playing the ukulele or whatever that is, it is really a neat time. And you think of the festivals and all the life experiences that people have done that for centuries.
Yeah. Well, there's all that heritage of musical, poetic heritage of the Celtic people as a whole. That's well established. But as we were saying a little earlier, it constantly evolves. There's the old traditional styles that still are retained, and they're taking it in new directions, the new generation with every generation. So you've got that essence of the old way of doing things, but with a modern twist. There's a great band who are a bit like that, for me anyway. They're called Adwaith. Three ladies from South Wales on a label called Libertino Records. And they kind of they have an essence of Clannad, if you remember Clannad from the 80s. Yeah, there's an essence of a Clannad to them, but with a very modern twist. They're absolutely superb. And anyone listening, I highly recommend you check out Adwaith. That's Adwaith.
Yeah, and you're getting back to the history. The music and the history of all cultures all around. The Irish, like the Chieftains. I guess that's the one that I know, that I've heard, because Roger Daltrey has played with the Chieftains. And those events are so much fun, with the dancing along with that. Do you think that, music today, maybe with this form of being able to present more, it's always there? Is it pretty much a healer that we need? It's kind of one of these statements of, what is the influence of this today to bring different cultures and everything is such a label nowadays, but we're not labeling when we're jamming, are we?
Yeah, well, this is it. It's a never-ending melting pot, isn't it? You can take traditional Greek music and add it to punk and throw in a bit of, gypsy brass and throw it all together. It might sound terrible, but why not try it, It doesn't matter where you take your influences from. If you want to genuinely express something a particular way, then the world's ears are waiting. It's fabulous.
Well, that's one thing I found in the blues. My friend has the Beatles Blues Blast. Ganto Letizia. Beatles Blues Blast came out like 2 years ago from Blind Raccoon, from Betsy Brown. It's amazing. He took all the Beatles songs, and these three gentlemen, they just jived it up a little different. And
all right.
That's the thing about great artists, Beethoven, all the way back. They always take these songs and they revive it in a different way, and as a fan,
Yeah. Well, that's something that Adwaith have done recently. Their last single was called Lana Moor, which means by the seaside, and that is a traditional Welsh seaside song that they kind of turned into sort of half surf rock and half kind of melodic, seaside-y, atmospheric sort of song. It's very, very good.
The question I always like to ask when I was talking to Paul about the festivals in the UK, they seem so much more charged up with the flags waving and they're on cue with the singing. Is it like that everywhere? Again, I'm watching from afar here in the States on the videos.
I think so. I went to a lot of festivals in my 20s and early 30s, and more in later years, I tend to go to festivals in Europe. That's what I really enjoy, because that's a real explorational journey. But yeah, I've been at plenty of festivals in the UK over the years. I saw Nirvana twice at Reading. The amount of big bands I've seen over the years at festivals. Glastonbury twice. Yeah, lots and lots of really, really good stuff. The recent festivals I've been to, I went to a punk festival in Poland last summer with my whole family. That was excellent. There's an artist called The Pow that performed there that was really quite incredible. A young woman, about 21, just on her own, really, really, really impressive. Just had an album out late last year called Rye, that means paradise. That was a 2-day event and really, really friendly, lots of big open space in a forest, and we went with the whole family. We were on holiday in Krakow and just saw the listing, thought what we're going to do next, kind of like to see a gig, and we think, oh, well, let's take a diversion. It's 3 hours that way, and we just did it on the, on the fly, as it were, and it was absolutely brilliant.
What a great story. In punk, just thinking about that time of my life, how that change saved music. I don't know what you want to call it, but in the 70s, it was some cool stuff and times.
Yeah, and it's just a nice, fresh injection of spirit and creative energy, and a lot of people do punk music when they're young. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, buddy.
Yeah, they do, and they go on to do other types of music much later. I guess it's a kind of, teenagers have to get this energy out, and they're kind of, how it is when you're that young. It's punk's a form of music that's made for that age. Although I still like it now. There's lots and lots of punk music I'll listen to now, as well as other things, Johnny Cash, Woody Guthrie, whatever it might be.
It's kind of thinking back on that. It's like the Sex Pistols. A lot of times they're playing music today. I'm thinking to the kids, it's a shock factor. Well, I did the same thing. God Save the Queen. I mean, I have not played that, but I think I'm going to now on my other show. But yeah, that's what I was doing back then when I was young. Shocking to mom and dad or whoever it may be. And I know they banned that tune for quite a long time. They wouldn't play that in the UK.
Yeah, it was very difficult to get that airplay at the time on the radio. And it was even number one in the charts. And the official chart company blanked it out and made the number one for that week. So they wouldn't recognize it.
Yeah, that whole CD, the Bollocks, that is their only LP, the Sex Pistols. That is it, baby. That's all they made. And, it's so much fun to talk to you, Miles. It's the journey of life and music as we're chatting going back. And when you mentioned punk, I'm like, that would be something I would love to do, is, again, just have a whole show of punk all together. What it was back then.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize U2 and original, it is a whole different sound they had. That first CD, Bloody Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Than what we're used to now.
They were darlings of the alternative scene in the UK and Ireland, with them being an Irish band. I don't want to imply they were British. People get sensitive about that. Yeah, they were very much darlings of the indie scene for the first two albums.